I now request Dr. Nilanji to please come on the dais. Dr. N.S. Bhattji, Dr. Ram Singh ji, they are also requested to please come on the dais. Vice Chancellor of Rajasthan University, Professor Hakim Abdul Mubin Khan from Bombay. He has been Vice Chairman of CCIM. Dr. Naresh Shankar Bhattji, he is a very renowned physician of India. Dr. C.K. Kataya, he is a renowned Shastri of India. He is a great contribution in the field of Shastra. Next one is Professor Scientist, Professor Emeritus, Dr. S.D. Upadhyay, and with them Dr. C.S. Selvi. He has been Dean Chhatrapati Sahooji Maharaj Chikitsa Vishwavidyalaya to please convene the panel and go ahead with the discussion.
First of all, let me thank the organizers for this panel. We are a very small group, I can see in the audience. But we have been having some discussion with Sri Ashok ji and Dr. Trivedi ji since yesterday. That when you have an event, the event has to have an outcome. And it is in this context that whereas we share so many views, so many experiences, so many papers, so many approaches, so many things, what Lavanya needs at this moment, and I am straight focusing on the activities of Lavanya as a demand from the post with confirmation from Ashok ji, that what could be the next step that we can take in terms of the activities that are to be undertaken. We have heard so many things in the last 2 days. Even I am sort of very much enlightened about many aspects which I never knew now. But I still remember 30 years back I was still a student in Ivy College, and there was a book by Manu Kothari, a famous anatomist, professor of anatomy from KM GS Medical College, and he had written a book, Drugs, the Main Cause of Cancer. And I also remember one reference by somebody, and I am talking this 30 years back, that so much research has been done in the field of cancer as a causative factors of cancer that if you want to prevent cancer, you have to stop breathing. Now that's the situation that we are in. And since morning we have heard about Aham, we have heard about Brahma, we have heard about Oda, we have heard about many things. Let's not get into that. But I am going to take some liberty because I was supposed to give a presentation of about 28 slides, only 2 minutes. My own experience with about 57 patients, out of which 44 have been treated for more than 180 days, and I am still in a dilemma how to handle that. A patient comes to you, he has taken sometimes allopathic, most of the time allopathic treatment. Either he has undergone radiotherapy, he has undergone chemotherapy, he has undergone surgery sometimes. And then you come in, you are asked to play a role, and that role is not yet defined. Whereas we all say that quality of life, but quality of life parameters are a new outcome of last 15 to 20 years, and is not only related with cancer, it is related with every disease that is not curable or which is yet taken. So how do we define here? How do we define quality of life? How do we define the role of Ayurveda? And what an institute like Lavanya is expected to do in next, say, if they were to evolve a program in next, say, for next 1, 2 or 3 years, how to go on. So with this introduction, we are going to have 2 rounds of this discussion. In my first round, I am going to give 2 to 3 minutes to each of the speakers. That what they will suggest for Lavanya to get into, or an Ayurvedic sector to get into, as few priorities. Maybe we will start with Dr. Khan. You are closing on the left side.
I think it is an opportunity for us to give some suggestion to Lavanya, who is in the field treating cancer and researching cancer by enthusiastic manner. In my opinion, as there are so many pathies, especially Ayush itself indicate Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha and homeopathy system of medicine, naturopathy. So it is a good thing that Lavanya is including all systems and collect collecting data from all systems to give the nation a thing, a secure on the platform of Lavanya. And I wish all success in the future. And I'll suggest that, if you don't mind, Dr. especially Srivastava ji and Vachaspati Trivedi ji, there are so many classical formulation of cancer in Unani system of medicine with the classification of type and causes. So if I am too much impressed with your work, and I want to send the data to you, and it is better that you start working on that system also. So it will be very helpful. Thank you. Yes.
I am going to take the liberty of holding the discussion slide. Dr. Pandey, you presented 31 plants to the priority. You also gave a list of 13 Guru preparations and you gave a series of associates. If an Arabic approach was to be determined, how do we narrow down these lists? Because we cannot do work on all these. But suppose a scientific approach or an Ayurvedic rational, let's not use the word scientific, but if a rationalistic approach is to be evolved, how do we determine how to reduce the number of plants or number of products or number of whatever? How can we reduce to say maximum 4 or 5 targets? Is it possible?
Friends, I have just built almost last 50 years we have been working. Personally, I have been working for the field of agriculture. And with the resolution of the Indian cabinet, first resolution of the Indian cabinet, when Prime Minister, late Prime Minister, that the development of Ayurveda is based on research-based development. We have to develop Ayurveda with the system as a whole. This should be the foundation, the guideline of the Indian cabinet, first resolution. When Central Council for Research in Ayurveda said, and CCI established. Last couple of days, I am with you. I have listened. I have the opportunity of visiting Lavanya. I have also had the opportunity of presenting a paper. My whole submission is that we are passing through a very drastic change in the field of Ayurveda. It is not the state. Conservatism is disappearing and openness is dropping in. But one precaution we have to take, that form and content of Ayurvedic preparation should not be disturbed arbitrarily. Because in the form, that it is almost experiential medical discipline. And the list which I have presented before the House has got a lot of basis, a lot of interrogations, conversations, personal interviews, newspaper cuttings, journals, variety of things. For example, recently, one of the important diabetic journals published that in case of pancreatic cancer, they have used Panchatikta and symptoms were ameliorated. You know that once the metastasis has taken place, the patient is surviving. Symptomatic relief has been obtained. But if you ask me whether we include Panchatikta in the treatment of Ayurveda for cancer from the side of Ayurveda, I am still not very much convinced. This is only one case report. But Namaha, a journal from Arvindo Ashram, they are trying to build up a story as to what will be the future of health scenario of the country. And they have said, they also agree in their policy document that let there be form and content should not be. For example, I can quote that we were discussing today about omnipresent, omnipotent spiritual aspect, and Church says that Bhutais Chatur Sahite Samane Manodavo Deh Upait Deha Bhutais Sushmani Panch Mahabhutas are in small quantity. And I have no authority to reduce the number, change the modify the preparations. But there are certain one plants where the scientific researches have been done. Some of them I hope you must be responsible for that era. They have quoted active compounds of those medicinal plants, and they have also said that ethyl extract, alcohol extract will be used for initiation in cancer patients. At least those type of preparations should be accepted by us because they have demonstrated anti-cancerous properties. How to isolate the chemical components, and this is very controversial as to I do not like to send that and in these words, let this be available to everybody and ponder over it. Methodology, the textual references have to be collected from different sources, and methodology rigorously be followed, and then find out a writer where we can change it, where this we can tell. These words are thankful for reading. Someone asked me.
We heard one view that the list which is complex and which is comprising of the polyherbals and the organometal compounds, we are not in a position to really reduce it. That is one way of one approach. I am going to respond to that, but before that, we know that Professor Arya Singh is not only the man of plastic, but he has huge research background. My question to you will be: are there any specific approaches or the target approaches? I am not using the target, I am talking about target approaches. How can we streamline our, say, 3 or 4 approaches for research in this particular and dreadful disease? Is there any way forward where we can say, okay, this is the way to go about it, purely from clinical and clinical on the clinical background?
We have been talking about Ayurvedic research since morning today, and everybody is talking of evidence. So whatever we say, there is neither evidence. Well, the so-called word evidence was started long back, but it needs to be redefined. What do you mean by evidence? I personally feel that evidence is of 2 kinds. The primary evidence means evidence in the literature, in our text, our Shastra, plus the experience-based evidence. That is also evidence. And this evidence is enough to allow us to practice Ayurveda in India, but not globalization of Ayurveda. If we only respect the mere primary evidence, probably Ayurveda will not get localized or mainstream. Therefore, the third dimension of evidence is the new scientific evidence, about which everybody is talking. So, in my understanding, evidence has to be primary evidence, from where the story starts. That is enough for us for practicing Ayurveda legally in India, but we don't want to limit ourselves only in India. We want Ayurveda to be global. We want Ayurveda to be brought into the mainstream, and for that definitely we need new scientific evidence which can be understandable by everybody. So therefore there can be 2 layers of evidence, primary and secondary. Both are equally important. You cannot start the secondary evidence exercise unless you know about the primary evidence exercise. Both are equally important. So this could be two evidence. Let the Ayurvedic people be very clear in talking about things, presenting things in a very clear language, very critical language. What is the concept about we are talking? For example, the question which was posed by Dr. Bhatt to Dr. Pandey, how to reduce the list of so many drugs. Naturally, the idea will come to Ayurvedic principles, fundamentals, looking to the Rasa Guna Virivika, Prabhav, Guna, and then the samprapti of diseases, and then we can reduce the list, try to reduce the list, whether we succeed or not. So the approach will have to be Ayurvedic, but the scientific input will be very, very necessary to make the whole idea acceptable to everybody. Unless Ayurveda is accepted by everybody all over the world, Ayurveda will not be considered to be science. Science is something which is global. If Ayurveda remains only in India, means if it is only the Indian pocket, means it is not a science. It may be a tradition, it may be a culture, it may be a local practice. I am one who believes that Ayurveda has potential to become a global science. And for that you need to be very clear about the primary evidence. Not only talking in a vague language. Let us be very clear when we just try to define what is OJS, what is para OJS, what is upper OJS, what can be the parameter to study. So clarity is needed from where we can begin with the scientific evidence. This is the thing. So the first thing, Dr. Bhatt, will be to make Ayurveda very clear, crystal clear to understandable by the science-minded people. Because one thing is very sure, that we need the help of scientists. We are all well read in Ayurveda, but the methodology that is going to flourish in future is to come from science. It doesn't mean that we want to convert Ayurveda into science. It is not the idea which I am projecting. I am trying to say that our principles have to be so clear that the science worships have to come to us. That is the need of the hour. So let us be very clear in our concept. Let us try to develop new methods. Let us not only borrow methods from our scientists and pharmacologists. Let us try to take help of the science to develop methods, scientific methods to study Ayurveda. Unless we do that, we cannot really go to the treasures of Ayurveda. This is what I would like to say at this moment of time.
Thank you, Professor Singh. Now I will give it to Dr. Katia. Dr. Katia, you have been involved in the modalities of research. Suppose, because I am not going to ask this other question how to go about it, but suppose you have claimed you have a therapeutic agent or a therapeutic approach which is there, you have target disease which is there. In your opinion, what will be the steps 1, 2, 3, 4 to really make it, as Professor Singh said, from primary to experience based to science based to make it global? Steps that to be taken.
See, luckily, primary cancer is not only disease, the drug development in which area permits multi-drug use even in the clinical. This is the only, because I have done phase 1 trial, I have done phase 2 trial, I know this is the only. So that's a plus point, which brings it closer to the concept of regime trial rather than drug trial. Number 2, however, we need to follow the strategy what CCRAs and ICMR people followed for development of treatment protocol, for use of Ayurvedic medicines as adjuvant therapy to improve myelosuppression. They are very focused endpoint. So single endpoint, possibly that endpoint that is to be defined. Therefore, need of a uniform protocol. That's one. And number 2, what will be the parameters to be evaluated? Number 3, what are the focus endpoint what we are looking at? Like in this case, I told that if the doctor has said that your life is only 2 months, you are अपने घर जाओ जाके वो मंदिर जाओ जो करना करो. And if coming to Lavanya, this patient lives for 8 months, so therefore survival analysis. So in these cases, can we focus on survival? Can we focus on the say adverse effect of the chemotherapy like myelosuppression? So there is a need for intense discussion with the people who are actually treating these patients, looking into their data in depth, what is that finding with drawn to attention, and then draw our strategy around that. Right now it's very difficult to say I can cure cancer or I can do this, but you can do any symptoms you can relieve. But say, for example, reduction in tumor size, nothing is more confusing than that. Let me tell you, you take a CT scan of a patient and plane X, plane Y, multiply that the square millimeter tumor size say is 50, right? Just 2 millimeter. The next time the patient comes, you change the plane by 2 millimeters, you will find it is now 15 by 2, therefore 30 millimeters. You will say tumor size reduced from 50 to 30. No, my dear, it has not. It has not, because you have changed the plane, so it is visible to you. Actually, it has increased. So therefore, uniformity of lab is very essential. Same lab, same plane, same equipment, if we want to convert these claims into evidence. So therefore, uniformity and approaches and identification of correct parameters, identification of small but simple endpoint. That's the first step.
Thank you, Dr. Katia. One thing I want you to draw, I want your attention to be drawn to one word. He did not use the word research protocol. He used the word treatment protocol. That's very important. Because when you are going for a combined therapy, you need to have a treatment protocol. I have one strong recommendation that could be followed by an organization like Lavanya, and maybe you can agree to this. To us, we do not know how to document. Let me confess this. And we are not only saying it is Lavanya, whether it is CCRS, whether Dr. Bhatt, whether some physician sitting in somewhere. Basically, what we need to do is that if I am putting a claim and I am having satisfaction, I don't have a reason to doubt myself. But what I need is a way to say that how to document a case which comes to me and say, yes, I did this. My suggestion is that can we prepare a checklist before we take a page? For example, we can easily prepare one page format where you can say, okay, what case it was, what kind of cancer it was, since how long it is, what has been the treatment parameters earlier, whether it has undergone any therapies, chemotherapy, how many courses, if in 7 courses and how many times, what frequency. I think it will be a very simple form in my opinion. I have been also with clinical research, you can prepare in one page, which will make your data reliable. I know that my experience is similar to that of Barindu or that of Lavanya, that I also treat some cases. They even refuse to accept their own diagnosis. It has happened several times. They refuse to accept the diagnosis, they will galti ho gayi ho ki this is not what is happening. In that situation, we can prepare, before we go to the treatment protocol, maybe a good thing will be to prepare a checklist which also becomes part of the treatment protocol. So that the physician knows what he is supposed to follow. How to go from say point A to B, whether improvement or degradation, there is a different story. But we must know how to go from point A to B and B to C. That is why I think this is something which we have been lacking in our thing. In other words, it's a proper documentation. Professor Upadhyay, we have been hearing your excellent experience and tremendous amount of experience in the field of Ayurveda. How will, if you were to look at cancer, what are the top 2 or 3 priorities you can take? Thank you.
When you go etiopathogenesis of cancer, you find that like other most diseases, cancer has the same etiopathogenesis, the gene and the environment. So when you come to the treatment of cancer, you must pay attention on some foreigns. As regards Ayurveda, Ayurveda says, Parikshakarano hi kushala bhavanti. Always do the test, then believe. And the second important thing, nahi jnaan avajne ne ज्ञान ज्ञान उत्तम चलत रहे हैं। एक ही प्रकार के ज्ञान से ज्ञान की वृद्धि नहीं होती, चारों तरफ के ज्ञान को मिलाकर के लेकर चलने से ज्ञान की वृद्धि होती है। इस प्रकार हम देखते हैं कि मॉडर्न का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है रिसर्च का पूरा आयुर्वेद में समाहित है। दूसरी बात ये होती है कि इस आयुर्वेद स्ट्रेस अपॉन द क्वालिटी ओरिएंटेड वर्क. It's a quality based science, no doubt. It's a life science audit. It's a quality based oriented. So there is a need of compassion, cooperation, coordination, cohesion. Then we can give the contribution. Contribution comes in the last. Prior to that, these things are very essential to give a quality oriented work in society. That's why we need a vision, direction, devotion. So first is the very important in the curative aspect and the preventive aspect. On the curative aspect, the resources of drugs are very important because there is a lot of pollution in the soil now. So prior to select any Ayurvedic drug, we must test this drug. There are drugs must be tested, whether it contains mercury, arsenic, lead and other things. So resources, from his resources to collect the drug, either from any industrial area or any such area where there is a dirty place, etc. And the second important thing is the collection, identification of the drug. The second is the collection of the drug. And the third is the storage of the drug. The storage should be very aseptic because we know that apoptosis Aflatoxin alba is a very common bacteria that actually causes cancer of the liver, and that is found in raw drugs. And it is mostly developed, this fungus develops when there is a store of drug, anemia or etc. for pretty long period in the storehouse. Then there is a very likelihood to develop this fungus. So there is a separate precaution for preservation. And then processing is very, very important. Because we use the mercury, arsenic and other herbal drugs. So processing is a very, very important thing. And at every step you must check the processing, that whether we are going to achieve our goal as described in the literature. The other important thing I would like to emphasize upon on the preventive aspect. As the study has been conducted out, as I told in the morning, that in Calcutta Medical College, over the 500 patients on cancer, study has been conducted out, and it has been found that the lower strata, socio-economic conditions, whereas the poor socio-economic condition, cancer is more prevalent. It has been given a very, very concrete data that in educated people, where this educated society, the incidence of cancer is lesser, much lesser than those in the poor fellow patients. Infections, others are that I told you that H. pylori and other papillovirus, etc. So it has a clear-cut data. The socio-economic condition must be elevated, and for this, the awareness generation program to cultivate the common medicinal plants as Krishkumari, Shatavari, Ashwagandha, those are very, very healthy, very common. This should also be side by side conducted out. So there should be a program for awareness generation and education in this regard, so that really we can achieve, when we can take in totality, holistic approach, then the preventive and curative aspect must be thought over at the same time. The third important thing, that the holistic approach, psychosomatic concept, and it will cover the whole thing, psychosomatic concept and all these things. So I think the preventive and curative aspect must pay some special attention in this direction. Thank you.
Dr. Sami, I know that you don't feel, you feel out yourself a little outcast. But I've seen your presentation yesterday. Let me share with you something. Tongue, according to us, is a very vital organ for the diagnosis of this. Chinese have written books and books on that. I have seen some of them. In other words, the tongue and the upper cavity becomes one of the very prominent clinical indication of many things that are happening. Keeping that in mind, some of the diseases that you described, my mind is working more in a rapid fashion in terms of Pitta Vata and other things, which I will not go into it.
I was surprised to know why they are missing. They are dealing with the cancers only. And another point is that pre-cancer condition is very important. Lesions are very important. If we control that lesions, we can treat the cancer. We can stop the formation of cancer. Between the pre-malignant lesions and cancer, there is a carcinoma in situ. If carcinoma in situ take care very easily, so we can stop the changing to the white lesion into the cancerous lesions. And if cancer is developed, suppose, and I am really very happy, and that is why from last 25 years I am working with the Ayurveda drugs in Denton, not with other organs. You people have lot of resources, lot of knowledge, your subject is scientific subject and with experience, but I am sorry to say you are lacking two things which I will mention. As a modern man, which we are doing, you people, I don't know, sorry, and excuse me if I will hurt anybody's feelings, but that is my own feeling. Feeling is that recording is most important. And if we treat one case, we just, we have treated more than enough. You never expose that case to the rest of the allopathy or homeopathy or Unani system. You never share with that. This is the feeling I'm having with you people. You must share that thing with your other pathy friends. I will request you, please include in this cancer prevention or cancer treatment allopathic colleague. What they will do, they will not change your pathy. They will just advise you, please use these parameters for the treatment and for this
not only for the recording. Suppose I can give you one example, MRI. They are using, you can use also MRI. That is documentation. That documentation, world will accept that. And now latest NMR. NMR is very latest thing. You can use that. But I'm sorry to say, Ayurvedacharya using their old system. This is good, science. But what we realize when you will use their parameters, their modern parameters, they will appreciate. Best example I will give you. Rabindranath wrote a Gitanjali in Bangla. He could not get a Nobel Prize. When he translated into the English, that was spread into the world. World will realize such a good literature. Then he got a Nobel Prize. So same thing is with our Ayurveda. Ayurveda is full of knowledge, full of experience, and they can treat the rare disease which allopathic man cannot treat them. So use this allopathic persons as a resource person for the guidance, for the help. They will not snatch something from your pathy. This is another feeling I am having, that Ayurvedacharya is thinking that modern people will take it and they will have the credit. No, you will get the credit because medicine is yours. Your crude drug should be used, not the single compound should be used that is more toxic. Crude compound has alkaloids and synergetic effects also, so that should be used. Just now when my friends were talking about the single compound if you use, that will go to the pocket of the allopathy. That is not your job. Your job is crude drug. And I can give you one example. Yesterday also I mentioned about one pharmacologist from Pune. He used a curcumin. They changed the simple central portion of curcumin compound and they are treating oral cancer patients with that. And myself is also using a curcumin for the lichen planus for all white lesions. We are treating that. We have a modern pathy knowledge. You have your pathy knowledge. Pit and cup, we cannot compare, we cannot treat. If you will shake hand with the modern people, both can combinedly treat such type of cases and we can prove the world. India is now #1 as that person from Dehradun. He has just treated one leukemia patient because that patient went to the England. They have done all the investigations. But what is their publication? What is their recording? What is their parameters? We are lacking that. For our future research on cancer, we must have documentation. We must use a modern parameters for testing of that. But don't change your pathy. Yours, we are at par with that.
It was really, actually I wanted to have 2 rounds of series, but I don't think it will be possible now because Dr. Mittal has to go and 2 of us have to take a flight now. I just want to take this privilege of being a convener. Yesterday Professor R.S. Singh mentioned about Agni. If we want to treat cancer, we have to think of the concept of Agni. We have to think of Bhuta Agnis. That is where the whole degeneration occurs. In my simple opinion, because I am trying to convert Siddhant into a practice, is I consider 3 situations. One is the age-related expression of a disease before death, that is cancer, there is one possibility. Many diseases become some shape, we die because of some disease, sometimes purely because of degeneration, because of Rasadatuk Kshay, and that is what happens. Otherwise, there are 2 possibilities. There is an endogenous factor, otherwise an exogenous factor. When we think of tobacco or any drug-induced, I put drug-induced carcinoma as one of the top killers of today as far as India is concerned, because every case that I come across, especially in cities like Bombay, is because of, at least 9 out of 10 are because of drug-induced carcinoma. And they have some history somewhere of taking excessive amount of antibiotic or something, and that becomes a regular reporting. Again, going to the treatment, I always think of 2 situations. One is volcano. You know how volcano erupts. Another is a forest fire. Many people have seen the pictures in California woods fire. When there is a fire in woods, you don't go and throw water there. You create a periphery around it so that it cannot spread more. And you create the soil, the base, the base which has to be completely out of it. This is a very simple approach which I am trying. Again, Professor Singh mentioned about Katutiktarasa. If we have to treat cancer, we need to have proliferation, which is anti-proliferative. That will come only because of Parthiv Guna, and that is why most of the associates are envisaged in the treatment of cancer, because most of the doctors are Parthiv गुणा दिख गया। उनमें प्रीडोमिनेंटली पार्थिव गुण की ज्यादा रहता है। पार्थिव गुण रहता है, कषायत्व रहता है। क्योंकि पार्थिवता और कषायत्व रहता है, उसके कारण वो जाके कैंसर को आगे नहीं जाने देते हैं। और इसीलिए लास्ट पॉइंट मैं ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि जैसे किसी और ने बताया, अभी शायद सिंह साहब ने बताया कि यस, देयर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी टू हैव प्योरली बेस्ड ऑन क्लिनिकल सिम्प्टोमेटोलॉजी, based on concept of Rasa Dhatu and Sutasas, it is possible that we can target situations. So if Dr. Pandey has given us a list of 31 plants and Rasa Sharif, in my humble opinion, based on my experience of last 37 years, I can say it is possible to reduce those lists to some degree and correlate not all with all cancers, but we can target a specific kind of cancer with a specific kind of therapy. I think it is possible. With simple protocols, I think we will be able to do that.
Sir, what are
Keeping that in mind, yeah, but give me 1 minute. Keeping that in mind, I think we have a great future ahead. If Ayurveda is to come to the world medicine, it has to take challenges. We cannot do it by regular method. With all due respect, I am an Ayurvedic, I am very proud of it. I will keep on saying that yes, Swasthya Rakshanam, and I would like to get to Dalijin and Swasthya and everything. I would like to do that. But if you want to go to a global platform, you have to take challenges which are not curable by them. And cancer gives you that opportunity. I think if we put our brains together, if we put our minds together, if we will right strategy and if we will right approaches, maybe within 3 to 5 years we will be able to have some roadmap which will really be guidelines to other people. And fortunately, the modern sciences have advanced that much now. They were not 30 years back. But today, the complete scopic, complete type of spectroscope, the way it has been the electronic facilities available to you, the way you can convert the clinical information into a therapeutic targeting, the way you can think of system biology and molecular pathways, I think it is possible to put some parallels and target it. It is possible. Now with this thing, I will not allow any question with due respect. You can ask me afterwards when I am down. This is a panel. We are all very eager to hear to Dr. Nityanand, who is like we all know him as a giant in this field. He has always been, sympathetic towards Ayurveda. He has been critical of that also. I have seen those things also. We have exchanged those things in the past several times. But he has always been encouraging for Ayurveda. So may I ask him to please guide us after presentation.
Friend, let me first say what a pleasure it is to be here with Ayurveda scholars and Ayurveda physicians. It's a great joy for me to be able to talk to you directly in this meeting. First, let me say that and compliment the Lavanya for having organized this seminar. And the wording of the seminar, integrated therapeutic approach, is a very wise choice of the subject. What is most important today, if you are looking at the importance of the patient, if you are looking at the importance of directing the products to the patient to have an integrated approach. And the more you integrate, which means the more you learn from each other, the more important and the more rich the result will be. You have more interest in the result than in single Ayurveda technique or allopathy. Let's look at the whole picture. Where does the patient benefit from the integrated approach? So in that way, I do compliment the organizers for having chosen this word, integrated therapy. And choice of cancer therapy again very important. This is one field where the herbal drug research has been the richest source of new drugs, the richest source of products with new avenues which are there. By avenues I mean that they have been right from the time from which the breast cancer or those two drugs, the thing which India had used for other purposes, they came and protested to cancer, and from that all other things have followed. What was the most important aspect of this work has been the new modes of action. All the products of Ayurveda which have come, whether the paclitaxel or the new one or the all these products are new modes of action, which opens up new avenues altogether, both of understanding cancer and also for the field cancer. For example, those things which act on the tubulin, we know some act on the formation of the tubulin, some act on the ultimately the reconstruction of the tubulin. So they act at different sites. So they've given you a very
large amount of new information, and herbal drugs or traditional system drugs have greatly enriched the whole area for drug research in many ways. And therefore, I would like to say that let's take it in a very hospitable manner. What you said, if these drugs which are being followed and taken can look at the targets that we take, they will be able to classify and we put them in a very good form as new sites of action, and all other areas of drug research will greatly benefit. So the main contribution of herbal drug research has been all these drugs that are new sites of action and new targets. This is the biggest contribution. Herbal drugs or herbal drugs are made through the science of it. But also as for immune system, and therefore the two can get together. So preventive and promotive aspects of cancer are equally important to emphasize and get to the community. So that you can have a much bigger impact. And again, the science of today is becoming very heavy. And this year, the Philosophical Foundation started transaction philosophical society, World Society. Transactions have two issues only on the science area. How the science creating is based on the community aspect, promotive aspect, and the life. So I think that
the mic full है वो mic हटा हुआ है.
A very important thing to think of, and it is also but the message of Ayurveda is much more solid to take it from. But Ayurveda has also got to really become more science-based. Let more science come into it, with molecular biology coming in, with pharmacology coming in, modern pharmacology, and molecular pharmacology coming in, and with medicine. With that, I believe people would have contributed much more to the modern understanding of medicine, and that would be very important. So science of Ayurveda need much more of science stuff coming in and enriching it, and Ayurveda has become one of the greatest globally, and research in biology and Ayurveda have done a very great deal for each other. If we run our research to know about Ayurveda, there's so much to learn and so much to think of and so much to do that way as a thing.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words and the directions that you give based on your vast experience. It has indeed been a pleasure to be here for the last 2 days, and I hope next time we will have become more interactive and more focused discussions. Next time when the Lavanya organizes something, and Ashok ji, be assured that we are all behind you in that whole endeavor that you are trying to prove the validity of Ayurveda for the cancer, and we will give all kind of support that is within our rights that we can give. Thank you very much. It has been really a pleasure to be here.
के चेयरमैन श्री अशोक जी से बात करूँगा कि वो इस पैनल के सभापति प्रोफेसर नितिन और कन्नर प्रोफेसर एनएस भट्ट साहब को सम्मान करने के बाद
मैडम आदरणीय चरण जी, पैनल के सभी लोग, सर ये मोमेंट हमारे लिए सबसे ही आत्मा को ज़्यादा सुख देने वाला है, क्योंकि मेरी यही इच्छा थी कि जो हमारे विद्वान लोग हैं का पूरा हम लोग डाटा इकट्ठा कर रहे हैं, मैं उन डाटास को आपको देना चाहूँगा, और साथ ही जैसा कि आपको देखा हम लोग पूरी इंडियन फार्माकोलॉजी के हिसाब से पूरे हमारी दवाओं का जो भी हमारे यहाँ मेडिसिन यूज किया जाता है बनाने के लिए भी, उसका हम लोग पूरा इंडियन फार्माकोपिया के हिसाब से पूरा टेंसे एक्सेट्रा कुछ कराने के बाद यूज करते हैं। इसके बाद जब हमारे कोई दवाई बनाते हैं उनका भी यूज करते हैं। आप देखिए यहाँ बाहर लगा हुआ है, हमारे जितने भी फसलें बनती हैं उनका पूरा वाटर परीक्षण होता है, जो भी हमारे पैरामीटर है फार्माकोपिया की उनको हम लोग करते हैं, आयुर्वेदिक पैरामीटर पे कर रहे हैं, एलोपैथी पैरामीटर के ऊपर कर रहे हैं, हमारे जिनमें जितने भी प्रोटोकॉल्स बने हैं सब आपके जो है जो मॉडर्न साइंस है उसके आधार पर प्रोटोकॉल बने हैं। मिस्टर भट्ट ने इस बात को कहा कि उसको हम लोग एक पन्ने में ले आए, मैं उसको दिखाना चाहूँगा आप लोगों को भी, और मैं उसमें आप लोगों से करेक्शन चाहूँगा। और ये इस तरीके का पॉजिटिव अगर हमें साथ मिला है तो हम लोग बहुत कुछ काम कर सकते हैं। आई थिंक कोई आपकी दिशा की आवश्यकता है, और इस दिशा अगर मिल गई तो हम लोग निश्चित रूप से मानवता को लोगों की पीड़ा से आई थिंक को बचाने का जो प्रयास है उसको बहुत बड़ी दिशा दे सकते हैं। ऐसा कि आपके रामा सिटी for the world people, because world is looking for all that. But the humanity is looking for who are really suffering with the incurable diseases, and your direction will certainly follow. And I want some type of इस तरीके का आप लोग बैठ करके डिसाइड करें, वो इस तरीके की टीम बनाए जिसमें मैं देखिए ये अकेले का काम नहीं है, अकेला कोई नहीं कर सकता, ना अशोक कर सकता ना कोई कर सकता है। दिस इज ए रिवॉल्यूशन, नीड ए रिवॉल्यूशन, और उसके लिए आपकी लीडरशिप की चाहिए। अगर आपकी लीडरशिप मिली तो निश्चित रूप के लिए मानवता के लिए आगे एक दिशा होगी। और मैं आप लोगों का आत्मा से नमन स्पर्श करता हूँ और तहे दिल से आप लोग